Wow. I mean, what else can you say when we were told that there was one extra piece the Mets needed, and Steve Cohen on a Hawaii vacation with his beautiful family got the phone call from Scott Boras. Do you want him? If you want him, he's yours. And like a giddy schoolgirl, Stevie C let the press know, I just got Carlos Correa. Let's rock. And then the deal wasn't signed. And then MRIs came back. And then the question was, it's okay. How do we get the deal done? And then over the last 48 hours, every Fugazi insider was like, it's done, it's done. It'll look a little different, but not to worry, Met fans. You got your guy. And then you find out today, a few hours ago, from the real insider, Jeff Passan, that not only did you not get your guy, the Minnesota Twins did get him, and you didn't throw your money around. Interesting development in the last 24 hours. Where do the Met fans go from here? Good afternoon, Evan. How are you today, kid?
Can you believe the Knicks blew an 18-point lead late third quarter?
Woo!
Yeah, it's disappointing. It's disappointing. I mean, I'm not going to scream and yell about it.
I mean, you got
It's just disappointing. You want me to scream and yell about it?
The
dude's clearly got a bleeped up ankle,
which has not affected him for the last 8 years.
Yeah, but you're not paying him for the last 8 years. You're paying him for the next 12 years.
What happens to? I don't care how they spend the money. Just spend it. That's why we got the richest owner in baseball.
If they ultimately signed him and said, ankle be damned, okay, let's go. But I can understand why the Mets, after the Giants balked on the ankle and the whole contract fell apart, said, hey, we need to rework this. We need to protect ourselves. Just because you have a lot of money doesn't mean you should spend it foolishly.
Wow.
Now, am I disappointed Carlos Correa is not a New York Met? Yeah. Are the Mets as good today as they could have been 6 hours ago if Correa signed? No, they're not as good.
Right.
I'm not going to lie to you about that.
What's interesting about you?
What's that?
You don't tolerate that usually.
What does that mean?
Normally, you'd be out there and saying, I don't care about the last 2-3 years being bad contracts.
It's not the last 2-3 years.
Most of them will be.
No.
You are now bending over like every other Met fan.
Hold on.
I don't understand this at all.
Okay, so let me correct you on my opinion.
Please, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Last 2 years, you're right. Don't give a damn. I'm concerned about, like, next year, the year after, the year after that, the year after that. I'm concerned about the majority of the deal. I've heard that the Mets were so concerned his ankle wouldn't hold up for the next 5 years.
Wow.
Now, if that's the case, then how could you take that risk?
I don't know. They offered him a 12-year contract for $315. Well, how about you live by it?
Well, every contract is, quote, pending physical.
Yes. And
so
to be
much
fair,
like the Giants.
He would have been a Giant if they had no problem with the physical.
Craig, I'm disappointed.
Well, I would think you have to be disappointed.
I don't want you to think like, no big deal, just move on, whatever. When you spend 19 days thinking that this kind of player is going to be in your lineup, you get excited. You get very pumped up. But I also understand if they saw this metal plate in his ankle that caused it to vibrate last year, and for Carlos to say, what a tingly feeling I had, and the concern that won't hold up, forget about the full 12 years, but for the first 5 or 6 years, I could understand trying to rework it, which they did for 19 days.
For $47 million less than what the Twins offered him. So why not just do the same deal that the Twins offered him?
Well, because I don't think that's
why offer less?
Because that's not the whole story. The other story is the final 4 years Minnesota would guarantee if he had the 500 plate appearances in year 6. So it's not fully, hey, what did the Mets offer Correa over 6? What did Minnesota offer? It's also how it can get to a 10-year deal. But we do know
this. The Mets' new offer was less than the Twins. We know that.
Yes.
Based on the reports
in guaranteed money, yes.
All right, so no big deal. You got outspent by the Twins.
But was that the reason they didn't get him?
I would think that's the reason Correa went to Minnesota. He got more money.
No. But when you look at why Correa took the Twins contract and didn't take the Met contract, we hear, okay, the Mets were guaranteeing this over 6.
Right.
Minnesota was averaging this over 6. Do you think that's the only reason and the only part of the contract that made the Twin deal better for Correa and Boras?
I honestly don't know, so I'm not going to guess. It would make sense that's a little bit more complicated than we want it to be. But here's what I know.
No. I'm going to answer it for you. You can't just give that answer. I know There was
How do you
more
know?
to that.
None of us have seen the contract.
No, we haven't seen the contract, but
Right.
we read the same reports that you're
last
quoting
night
right
I saw
now.
an insider saying the deal was done with the Mets.
You just quoted an insider.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you quoted the Twins contract and the Mets contract. Where'd that come from?
I didn't quote the Mets contract.
No, you quoted the Twins contract and you compared it to the Met contract. That all comes from an insider.
Well, that comes from a legitimate insider.
We can't pick our spots here.
Jeff Passan,
everything
that's
right
my
now,
guy.
Everything right now is coming from an insider, and how the last 4 or 5 years of that contract gets guaranteed is different in the Twin deal than it is the Met deal. You can't ignore that.
Yeah, well,
that's a part of it.
I won't ignore this either. You got outflexed by a Steinbrenner. That's what I'm going to tell you, because 20 whatever days ago, we did a show. Which flex was bigger? The flex from Hawaii to get Correa, or the flex from the Italian home of the Pope to get Aaron Judge? And all you little weasels were like, you got to give Steve Cohen the better flex. He did it during dinner with his family.
You said that.
And,
it was you.
I do remember that show, oddly enough.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, that flex is right out the window.
Well, it took 19 days for the flex to just go completely out the window. No Carlos Correa.
Listen.
And oh, by the way, for any Met fan who thinks
Flex.
Steve Cohen gets angry, so something's going to happen next,
There's nothing else.
it ain't happening in free agency.
Right.
Now, you want to tell me there's some kind of big trade none of us are thinking about? Okay, fine. That would scare me half to death, by the way. I've heard a lot of comparisons of Cohen to Steinbrenner. Well, one of George Steinbrenner's biggest issues is he made the dopey trade, especially in the late 80s when future stars were traded for the shiny veteran in the moment. I don't want Steve Cohen and the Mets to make some kind of knee-jerk trade. That could be disastrous.
Yeah.
What unfortunately the Mets have to do, and this sucks, because you talked yourself into Correa, I certainly did, over the last 3 weeks,
Rightfully
is we've got to go back to the pre-Correa world, which is, hey, they're relying on Brett Beatty. Hey, they're relying on Francisco Alvarez. Hey, this offense was 5th in Major League Baseball last year. Let's hope it's as good, if not better, this year. And I know that sucks because it's a huge disappointment. But I never thought they were going to get Carlos Correa to begin with. But we still got teased.
19 days ago, you thought you had Carlos Correa.
I didn't finish my sentence.
But
we got teased for 19 days, and it's tough to ignore the tease.
Well,
there's no doubt.
You guys were parading around this place.
Well, we only paraded for a day because after
we're forgetting that for some reason.
Well, hold on. Can I finish?
The excitement of the Carlos Correa thing is no longer. It didn't happen. No one cares.
When did you become a Yankee?
Just saying.
When did that happen?
Well, right around the time
right
around the time I tried to tell you that the better
and
flex.
By the way, the only reason Carlos Correa ended up with the Minnesota Twins last year is because you losers decided to take Josh Donaldson. So if you want to play this game, you'll come up small.
Maybe
Remember
the Yankees
that one?
didn't like his MRI.
Maybe we knew the medicals.
No. You missed the point.
Minnesota!
You missed the point. The only reason Minnesota got Carlos Correa is because you took Josh Donaldson off their hands.
And they still finished
That's a
where they
fact.
finished, and the Yankees finished where they finished, and you just got outspent by Minnesota.
Wow. Those are facts. Those are
facts. And to your point, and your logic doesn't make sense on the back end of the contract either. Why wouldn't the Mets give the same back end of the contract? You just said you're okay with eating the last 3 or 4 years. Those back end only kick in if he plays the first 6. So why would you go year by year and not do what Minnesota's done to get the contract signed? This is a player you want. Yeah.
Because you're doubling the contract in length.
But he's he's played the 6 years.
And by the way, only 1 year. No, it's the final year of his deal playing 500 plate appearances.
Right.
And that would guarantee the final portion of the contract.
Right.
Like the Mets spent 19 days trying to protect themselves in a long-term deal with Carlos Correa, and they couldn't figure it out. Yeah. So it's not as if they weren't trying to bring him in. This isn't Vladimir Guerrero from 2 decades ago. This was trying to find common ground with Scott Boras, and they couldn't because they're that concerned about the guy's ankle. But here's the truth. We're all going to see in real time who is right about this. Because if Carlos Correa's ankle shatters in the next 3 years,
that'll be the best money you never spent.
The San Francisco Giants, too, and the New York Mets would have been right to red flag the crap out of this.
Yeah, it's just a fascinating turn of events. Here I thought we were coming in here talking all New York Giants today, getting ready for the big playoff game against the Minnesota Vikings. And then Yahtzee. The boat took on water, and you lost the guy that put you over the edge. And I don't care how you color it, you got to be upset today.
Disappointed.
You got to be disappointed, upset. It's like Frank the Tank is always right when it comes to the New York Mets. Darren Ruff's your guy. So good luck with that.
Darren Ruff's not going to be on the team next year.
Well, that's what Frank told me.
Listen.
Frank told me Darren Ruff's going to be the biggest guy.
Don't judge us by our most irrational fans.
Well, listen, you guys were all rational for the last 19 days.
We weren't. We were
and
excited.
I remember you over there, you because I have a mental image of it.
Right.
When the Correa deal got done.
I was excited, yeah.
And we came in.
Yeah.
You sat over there like this.
I was excited. Should I not have been?
We win.
Should I not have been excited about the Mets shockingly signing? Well,
making excuses.
No, I'm not. I'm giving you an honest answer.
Why do you care if they just sign him to a 12-year deal? Your owner's got more money than everybody.
Because
get the guy done.
Because
his ankle didn't hurt last year.
You still have to make smart business decisions. If your doctors are telling you he's got a metal plate in his ankle and we're deeply concerned, forget about 12 years, he's going to get through the first 5. Like, you can't just ignore it because you have a billionaire owner. You can't. Now, if Steve Cohen doesn't give a rat's ass, fine.
Here's what's funny. You guys ignored it when San Francisco said they had a problem with it. You called them suckers.
So here's the thing.
You called San Francisco, not you.
I did nothing of the sort.
You did.
No, I didn't.
I heard that show the next day.
I didn't call him a
Bunch
sucker.
of suckers.
Stop it.
We came into the middle of the night on a Hawaii vacation, and we stole Carlos Correa. You incompetent suckers. Your words, not mine. And now you're all backtracking. Oh, good business decision. Oh, got to give him credit for being smart. You're all a bunch of clowns.
Not really. There's only one clown talking, and it's the guy in blue.
Well, that's what they're in the Cohen canoe. They can't. Right. It's just when he spends. Look at this owner. When he's prudent, and he's prudent too. It's the best of both worlds. Yeah. When he spends, he's terrific. When he doesn't spend, he's terrific.
When Big Mac, I still can't understand when Big Mac became a Yankee douche. Like, when did that happen?
What Yankee douche?
I thought you were like a good, nice, respectful Yankee fan.
They should have signed this contract. They should have signed the same contract.
They should have given him 12 years,
no,
315.
They should have matched the Twins' offer.
Yeah, the 6 and 6 deal is what he's
talking
about.
We haven't even seen this guy's MRI.
Well, you saw him last year about 291.
Yeah, but hold on. No, it's not about last year. It's about the next 12 years. And here's the reason why Steve Cohen gets the benefit of the doubt. Because if this was Jeff Wilpon, we'd obviously go nuts. There's no doubt. I'm not denying that. We've seen from him he's willing to spend. We've seen Cohen tax be damned.
Well, not really,
obviously. Yes, he's willing
to talk about spending.
No, hold on.
He just backed out of a $315 million deal.
Do they have the highest payroll in baseball?
It's like saying I'm going to buy that art and then reneging at the last minute.
Do they have the highest payroll in baseball?
They will, yes.
Do they have the highest tax paid in baseball?
Yes.
Okay. So my point is still accurate. He showed a willingness to spend, so when there's a pause because of the MRI, he's going to get more of the benefit of the doubt than a cheap owner from the past. Yeah. There's no doubt. But I can't be angry at the Mets flagging the same issue the Giants flagged.
I mean, you guys mocked the Giants for flagging
I didn't mock the Giants.
You're like, yes, we stole Correa from the Giants. Yeah, you did. You did.
No.
I listened to the tapes with Big Mac earlier
Play
today.
the tape.
Well, I didn't take
exactly.
Them. He and I just listened to him while we ate some soup.
I could argue with two jackasses all day. The one thing I can't argue is with fake things I didn't say. That I can't argue
Big Mac, get the tape.
Okay.
He's not going to get it this second, of course. But by the end of the show, we're going to have it.
I've noticed this on social media, and I've heard it on the air. A lot of Yankee fans came out of nowhere to open up their mouth about this.
Because of our conversation regarding which flex was the most impressive flex.
Because in the moment, we thought the Mets signed him, just like you thought the Mets signed him.
Yes.
Just like you, Big Mac, thought the Mets signed him. More times than not, when a deal is agreed upon, unless your name is Carlos Correa, it happens. It doesn't just fall apart because of a physical.
It probably hurts their reputationally, I'll tell you that.
Whose reputation?
If I was an agent, I can't trust the Mets when they make me an offer. I mean, they may back out of it. Make me sit there and stew for 19 days while most other teams fill all their holes.
You think
I could be the odd man out?
You think the Mets' reputation got hurt by this?
Oh, yeah, big time. That's a reputational hit right there.
You think the Giants' reputation got hit by this?
No, the Giants did it the right way. They didn't make Correa sit for 19 days.
Craig, they had a press conference schedule, canceled it hours before, and then before the Giants could get back to Boris, they signed with the Mets. Like, that's how that transpired.
Yeah, snakes in the grass usually wind up dying.
The one thing I will admit, and you failed on this, I failed on this.
I failed.
Well, let me finish. You'll hear. We all failed on this.
Good.
When the Mets shockingly signed Correa before the new year, we all should have made a bigger deal out of the failed physical with the Giants. And none of us did.
Right.
Like, I just assumed it was done.
I don't blame you for that because you guys are like fat kids in the candy store.
We were excited. But what about you? What about Big Mac? Why didn't you calmly say, hey, guys, totally get why you're excited.
Yeah.
He just had an issue with the Giants.
I did say that. We heard that on the tapes this morning as well.
You never said
I'll
it.
play that for you in a little bit.
I heard the show. I did the show.
Yeah.
You guys.
Like you remember every single thing that comes out of my mouth.
Believe it or not, Craig?
Yeah.
I do.
I took notes on it. Big Mac's fine. Like, that's why Big Mac disappeared. He's getting the audio. He's pulling it right now. It sounds something like this.
Let me hear it.
I'm a little concerned about this MRI. I don't know if I'd give him 315 without looking at the MRI first.
I'd only believe the audio if you provide my response to you. Did I respond to you with?
Yes, your response was, stop being a hater. Steve Cohen's the man. Give him credit for flexing in the middle of the night. We got our guy. Let's rock.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, if you say so.
No, you may not take responsibility. I will. I apologize. When they made that shocking announcement, I should have raised the flag. We all should have. That, wait a second. He just had an issue with his physical with the Giants. What makes us think it's going to be swimmingly easy with the Mets? And it wasn't. It got flagged. 19 days went by. We had all these false reports. And now it's over. He's not coming here. Yeah. And we all have to accept it. And if you guys want to beat your chest because you don't have a left fielder and your third baseman sucks and you're not totally pleased with your offseason,
this
has nothing to do with the
right
Yankees.
to do that.
But you're lashing out now. This is not about the New York Yankees outside of them out flexing you guys a month ago.
I'm just responding. I'm responding that you guys have a right to be petty little bitches about this. It's totally fine.
You're being like a raccoon.
Like, I give you permission to do it.
This is the story of the day. This is our opinion on it. This isn't coming from like a bitter Yankee fan.
No, I get that. And
this is my opinion on the Carlos Correa
and you
story.
Guys have a right to do that. Like, I totally get it. But the one thing I warn my fellow Met fan, there's this feeling of, well, when Matz's agent pissed off Cohen,
whose agent?
He got Steven Matz.
Yeah.
He got angry and he signed Max Scherzer.
Right.
When he was annoyed at the Grom's press conference, he signed Verlander and Senga and all this. There's no one in free agency, I promise you this, because I know the list.
Yes.
There's nobody in free agency in the same stratosphere as Correa. Are there good additions out there that I would like that you probably had never heard of the player? Absolutely. But there isn't a pivot that's out there that's going to please the Met fan. And honestly, they really shouldn't pivot. Yeah. Take a deep breath. It stinks they didn't get Correa. It's disappointing they didn't get Correa. But the one thing I don't want to see this owner do, because here's where I will rip him, Craig. Don't do something stupid via the trade market. Don't trade Jay Buhner. Don't trade Doug Drabeck. Don't trade Jose Rijo. Don't trade those guys. Don't trade Willie McGee. Right. You get all those references
I get all
or not
those
really?
References, yeah.
Thank
Big
you.
Mac just said in my ear, now the Mets fans should be very proud of the Mets. The average age of the free agent signings was 37 and a half this year. Can't wait to see you guys, how you look in 3 years.
Well, they're all contracts run out, so it's not a big deal. They just reinvest the money in other people, which was the smarts of this offseason. They're not invested long-term in those older guys.
I figure it'll take off 25 minutes for somebody to come and go, this is good for us. Now we've got more money for Ohtani. Got nothing to do with it.
All right, so let me make that clear.
Got nothing to do with it.
It's not.
You got played.
And Machado. They're going to bring them all in.
It's not good for the Mets. Now, can they pivot to a guy like Manny Machado and show? Well, I don't think they were ever pivoting it to Ohtani. They were always going to go after Ohtani. I don't think signing Correa was going to make a difference. Yeah, the Mets are a big market team, and I think you guys would admit, even in your petulance, that they will spend. Maybe not this offseason because it's pretty much over, but they will spend in the future. Yeah. But I don't want to hear a spin from Met fans that this is good. I haven't said that.
There is none, right.
I haven't said that. What I've said was I'm disappointed, but I understand why they walked away from it because of the issues with the ankle.
The patience that Met fans suddenly have with Steve Cohen fascinates me.
What do you mean by that?
Because like you said, if this was still the Wilpon regime, you guys would be burying Jeff
because
Wilpon.
of what he's done. They have the highest payroll in baseball.
Yes, but you admitted you'd bury him.
Because okay, here's why. I mean, this isn't that complicated, but I'll explain it. Because I believe that this owner will continue to spend year after year after year.
Or talk about it.
No, he's done it.
And then renege on deals.
They're paying the highest payroll in all Major League Baseball.
Yes,
that's not fake.
No, that is true.
So I believe that he'll continue to spend. So comparing that to the Wilpons, who didn't spend on this kind of level, why would you compare it to the
You don't think he backed out of the deal because he invested in FTX, do you?
No. Believe it or not, I trust that they backed out of the deal for the same reason the Giants backed out of the deal. Yeah, they're deeply concerned about a metal plate in his ankle.
All right. Well, we'll get into it with you throughout the day. We'll do a bunch of football today as well as the New York Giants are now, what's today, Tuesday? 1, 2, 3, 4, No, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 5 days away from their first playoff game in damn near a decade.